It wasn't Lamine. It was La Messi, bro.
I would love to. I want to win a trophy, but I'm saying I don't think the board's going to do that.
Let's get right to it. The Supercopa. Barcelona humiliate Real Madrid 5-2.
Again, bro.
Where was this game played? In Riyadh?
This is in Al Alawal Stadium. I don't want to mispronounce it.
I don't know.
That might have been bad.
Stadium. King Abdullah Sports City in Jeddah.
In Jeddah?
Jeddah. Don't know how to pronounce it, but I know the tragedy I saw on the pitch because Real Madrid, even though they had a 1-0 lead, they were excited about what I think was to come. And Barcelona, I would say not only did they just play spectacularly, but I think what changed the game was the penalty. The Camavinga foul on Gavi.
Might have had his worst game, I think, in a Real Madrid shirt. What a time.
And he also, he probably should have been sent off. There was a wild challenge that it was one. I don't even think he shouldn't have got the yellow for the foul in the box or whatever.
But because he did, that should have been the second yellow.
Yeah, but that other challenge was crazy. But but that penalty, I think, is what psychologically ruined Real Madrid because it was just. It was a very soft penalty. Stupid. It's just like it's almost like Camavinga didn't think there was a player there. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you stick your leg out. You're like, oh, I'm trying. You're looking at the ball,
right,
and you're like, you don't assume that a player's gonna come back.
There should be some grace given to someone who's not looking, but doesn't see the player.
But Gavi's right there. Yeah. You see him, and
you don't even feel him though.
He sticks out his leg in a way of like, I don't. He's not trying to hit him.
Right.
I think he's just trying to like impede him in a way of just like, let me just put my leg out there so he knows that there's something there.
That's
gonna throw off his control of the ball.
Gives you a little hezzy.
And no, he just straight up
gave him a penny, not a hezzy.
Just studs into the thigh. And again, it wasn't vicious. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't violent.
None of it. But it wasn't Vinicius either. He wasn't involved.
But it was a foul. I don't even understand. Like, it's just such a silly foul to give away. It's a silly penalty to give away. And to me, that was like kind of spelled the beginning of the end because I don't know what happened defensively to Real Madrid, where they're usually not this. You understand, like, they got Mbappe. Oh, they can't figure out stuff going forward. Defensively, never been an issue.
Well, this is the whole thing. I'm comfortable with the front three. I'm comfortable with Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. Bellingham at moments was hanging his head. Probably not, the superstar match for him. Valverde, you would see him running back and forth, trying to run 40 yards to make a clearance. Like, he was doing the best he could.
Yeah.
Camavinga having a bad game. Chouameni, clearly not a defender. Vasquez clearly don't want to be there.
Or not a center back.
Not a center back. He's a midfielder, though. He's not a center back in any way, shape, or form. I looked at this, and Rudiger was pulled out of position so many times. I simply look at this and say, y'all spent a lot of money on the front three, but you ain't got nothing important in the back. I know injury is a big reason for that.
Yeah. But who's the missing?
Carvajal, obviously, is like a big one.
Carvajal and Militao.
Militao is obviously a big one.
Yeah.
Look, I get it, but this is who you got to replace in January.
And it's funny because we mentioned Militao and Carvajal, the two players that would be in the center back and right back spot, right? Carvajal's the right back, right?
Yeah.
So and then the goal that Rafinha scores, the header, the Jules Koundé ball that he said Jules Koundé, Alexander-Arnold, because the Rafinha running through that gap where those two players would be, or at least have an eye on Rafinha. Vasquez is way too late.
50 yards away from...
I credit Rafinha for not only wanting that ball, making that run, and then being like, I'm just going to head this thing. Why take a touch?
Yeah. Who needs it?
No, because Courtois didn't expect a header.
Yeah.
And it was just a remarkable, they couldn't stop it from getting worse, right? After the penalty, this is why then Rafinha scores. And also the ball the first goal that Barcelona scores, the ball from Lewandowski to Lamine Yamal.
But Lamine Yamal with that, just like
With
that
the-
short corner kind of side kick.
But
is
he
crazy.
did a little hezzy of and this is when this game felt a little bit, it wasn't Lamine, it was La Messi, bro. It was because you heard even in the stadium, the fans were cheering. They were cheering for Messi. They were cheering Messi and they were calling his name. But Lamine Yamal felt like he is, we're getting are we on the precipice of like the next Messi? I know that's a big and very, very bold statement, but these are big games, and for him to show up,
he's actually got better numbers at this age than Messi had at this age, which is crazy to say.
It's so wild. I mean, the ball from Lewandowski.
Lamine Yamal in 15 years playing at Inter Miami is gonna be crazy.
Okay, you got to carry the torch, bro.
Yeah, bro, you already know what it is.
But yeah, him getting that ball and then just the hesitation that he takes because I believe it's Tchouaméni who's like thinking he's about to shoot and he keeps sticking his leg out and whatever, and then he sets up all the defenders perfectly to basically just pass it into the net.
But also he can't really see. Tchouaméni's not good at sensing the blind spot.
Okay,
which is like what a center back is supposed to do. That's how you can tell he's not a center back. To me, I think what stuck out the most is, bro, imagine someone told you, you're Jules Koundé. You're about to go up against Vinicius Jr. Should have been the Ballon d'Or winner, right? Won the best, right? That trophy. You're thinking to yourself, man, I'm going to be pinned back all game. I'm going to be defending like crazy. This dude was running forward with the freedom. Yeah. And a lot of it comes from Casado. Casado can cover for him. But imagine Vinicius Jr. is not doing enough to put pressure on you for you to stay back. That tells me everything that was happening with Real Madrid.
Right. Yeah. Again, just a remarkable game. And then Rafinha, this is you looking like Ronaldinho, bro.
Yeah.
This was
Ronaldinho, bro.
This is a player that this is. I'm watching this team and I'm watching the score line and I'm like, this is embarrassing for Real Madrid, bro.
Extremely.
They can't register players. They have to get the Spanish government involved.
You need a lawyer to fill your squad.
They're paying their players through Cash App to try to hide some of the money.
Right? How about Jules? Come over and pick up some Jules on Thursday.
It is wild, and Rafinha just ate them up, bro. I mean,
I had no idea this was his level when he was playing at Leeds.
Right.
I didn't see it.
Not even a little bit.
No.
He's just looking like a true leader on this team.
What does he have? 19 goals. Lewandowski 26 goals. It's crazy. Lamine Yamal, I think, is like 10.
Dude, this is just a team that on paper should be falling apart, should be collapsing. I mean, look, they're not
in the papers. It should be falling apart.
And for them to play like this, I mean, I think if they win this game 2-1, 3-1, it's like, all right, they got him. They got on this day.
Chesney doesn't get a red card. This could have been 7-1.
Yeah, that's the red card. All it did was slow Barcelona down a little bit because it could have been much worse.
That's it.
Yeah,
and it gave Real Madrid a couple more opportunities.
Yeah, dude. So a big game.
Casado, Cubarsí, Pedri, Gavi, all incredible.
Right.
And, we didn't even talk Lamine Yamal. We didn't talk Lewandowski. We didn't talk Rafinha. I'm telling you how players that did incredible. And I'm talking about center backs, center halves if you're in England, and defensive midfielders. It's incredible.
Let's see. We shouldn't. I don't think we'll get dinged on this, but we have to look at Lamine Yamal celebrating after the game because this is Lamine Yamal.
Maybe kill the music. Kill the music.
I'll put it low.
No, kill it.
No,
just so it doesn't find us.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna play it.
That's a commercial song. Let's not go crazy, Christian.
Lamine Yamal celebrating. Wrong one. Lamine. So we're looking at him celebrate, but he is. This is a Dominican man right now. So he's playing Dominican music as he's celebrating and walking into what
the comments are crazy. Alush says too cocky. Demetrius Milik says he has to stay humble, otherwise I see him ending like Neymar. Probably not a bad way to go.
What is too cocky about what he is doing?
But look at what Jaycock91 says. Half the squad is there enjoying themselves. He's not being arrogant. just because Messi was a bit acoustic doesn't mean he has to be.
Okay, if you don't understand, this is TikTok lingo.
TikTok
talk to not try to be offensive.
Right. So, acoustic means, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Our producer's waving us off.
I don't think anybody's gonna be upset, but you know what?
Really loves a Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Messi, at times, you can see him just sort of. He just zaps out of the reality he's in at that moment.
We're all a little bit acoustic.
That's why it's a spectrum.
Okay? Nobody loves soccer as much as we do and not be a little bit acoustic.
You know what side of the spectrum Lamine Yamal is? Vibes, bro. That's the vibes he's bringing. Look at him. He's partying. I don't understand how someone could look at a 17, 18-year-old and be like, you're too cocky. You're having a good time. You're one of the greatest players in the world right now.
Exactly. You're not supposed to have fun. I mean, this also, he's like I said, he's bringing the Dominican music into the locker room.
I know that's why you wanted to play it, but let's not.
No. I'm just saying that this is why I have to respect the Dominican King. All right.
Yes.
All right. Lamine Yamal after this Super Copa is officially de lo mío.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he get a pass?
He gets a pass, bro. Thank you.
Chimmy's on us.
Okay. But no, absolutely love it. So, yeah.
What is Lamine Yamal's background?
Lamine Yamal is
like his dad is part Moroccan or something, right? Like what's his background?
I think it's like West African or North African. I don't remember. I think both his parents are from different countries in Africa, areas? But I don't know.
One of them from uptown.
Oh, you can hear it. Sorry. All right. you can mute it in post. Don't worry about it. All right. So let's move on to England and let's talk a little bit Arsenal against Manchester United in a game that they played each other a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, do we have to talk about this?
We all kind of thought, all right, Manchester United not the best run of form. They've had a couple decent results in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
but it's Arsenal, and then once Diogo Dalot got that red card, I'm like, it's all right.
I thought, I'm like, well, all right. Well, it sucks that Arsenal have to use a red card to win, but here it comes.
Wrap it up. No, Manchester United end up winning 5-3 on penalties. Okay, where did it go wrong, Alexis? Let me know.
2 years ago when Mikel Arteta refused to buy a striker.
Still, same thing. He had a striker. He got injured in the game.
I mean, not really a striker. I mean, I think he showed you after the first season that maybe he's not exactly the out and out 9 that you're looking for. He obviously blends well, and we're talking about Gabriel Jesus.
He got a big old 9 on his shirt. I know that.
Well, I'm sure I could go get one printed too. You know what I mean? Don't really mean much. I think he's one of those players that blends well with the other team. He, links up with the other forwards and the midfielders very well.
Okay.
But you need someone that can sort of take the match by the scruff of the neck and say, bro, give me that ball. I'm gonna just shoot it and see what happens. And Arsenal doesn't really have that. And I think we talked about how bad Odegaard has looked lately without, Bukayo Saka there being able to sort of play that 1-2 and play that little bit of a partnership. You could see just how diminished Odegaard becomes. Who's he passing to? Is there players that really aren't in the positions they're supposed to be in 100%?
I just want to point, Raheem Sterling, I thought, was abysmal.
Hold on. There was like a 20-minute stretch where I was like, yo, is this the Raheem Sterling finally?
I didn't feel that way at all.
No, there was times where he was running at defenders. I was actually quite excited.
The second half was horrendous.
No, the second half was horrendous by everybody. But when Raheem Sterling comes in, there's like a 10 to 15-minute gap there where suddenly he's, driving at defenders. He's getting the ball. He's not playing that safe pass that we see Martinelli do week after week after week.
Right.
Every time he gets a pass, he cuts it back and looks for a safe square pass. He's not doing that. He was driving at defenders, trying to get into the box, trying to create something. And that's at the end of the day all you really want. I think over the course of the last 2 matches, Arsenal have had something like 48 or 49 opportunities or chances on goal, and they've scored 1 goal. I mean, this is clearly a symptom of just not being clinical in front of goal. I think the midfield is still effective. They're still getting chances. They're still getting shots on goal.
We can't continue this conversation without talking about Kai Havertz, because how many chances
have you seen the abuse his wife's getting? Have you seen that?
Okay, you sounded like he's doing it.
No. On social media.
Like what?
Dude, she's married to Kai Havertz, Not Greenwood.
No, I did not see. Why is she getting any stick or any?
People are sending her DMs like, "I hope your child dies." It's horrific.
I
Dude.
mean, this is just
This
gross.
is ridiculous. But these are Arsenal fans. Yeah, it's just insane.
This is absurd.
Get yourself checked, bro. If Tony Soprano could see a therapist, so could you, bro.
Okay. But no, that's absurd. But his performance in this game was, I mean, he was set up to succeed. There were
he missed wild opportunities, and then he misses the one penalty.
The penalty,
the penalty that ended
of
up
all
costing
people
him
to
the
miss
game.
the penalty. It's like, please, anybody but Kai.
But again, he was brought in.
I mean, it looked like Kai Sanat out there, bro. I was getting concerned.
Well, thank God he's much taller. But I think when you look at Mikel Arteta's, the signings he's made, they've spent like something like 700 million pounds on players. And I wouldn't necessarily sit here and say that I've been wowed by every signing. I think he's close to 50-50 now, whether players are doing well or not. And I think Kai Havertz right now is in a bit of a slump. I mean, you can put your arm around him. Mikel Arteta said after the match, "I love this guy." And when he gets on a roll, he gets on a roll and he looks great and everybody's chanting and singing. But now you've got Arsenal fans themselves saying like Arteta out and blah, blah, blah. And if you're the board, now's probably not the time to make a move to get rid of Mikel Arteta. And also, I don't think I would. I want the world to know what I'm saying is saying I would. But I think the front office is not going to purchase a striker in this transfer windows. And I'll explain why. Right now,
they have no interest in winning.
You cheat, son. No, I think right now, let's say you bring in what's the best striker on the market?
On the market, I mean, that's
like available that would be willing sold. Like you can't say Erling Haaland, but
right. I mean, but the
Omar Mamouche, Gyökeres,
Vlahovic.
All right, so let's say you get Dusan Vlahovic. Does that suddenly have you beat or catch up to Liverpool? And be them, you could win out the rest of the season and still not catch Liverpool.
Sure.
It doesn't guarantee you a trophy. It doesn't guarantee you a Champions League. That one move doesn't necessarily net you out as a trophy specifically. So why make that move now? Why not just wait till the summer when you can kind of retool a bit, get a player for a little bit of a lighter fee than you would in January, because obviously it's always more expensive in January. Mm-hmm. Why do that? Or maybe even possibly get someone on a free. Why spend that money now if it's not going to net you out in a trophy? The only trophies you're in are the League, Champions League, and Carabao Cup, and you actually have to go to St. James Park and do or whatever the second leg. I forget what it is against Newcastle. You're not gonna get a player that's gonna win you a chip right this moment. You have a chance. You have a chance to win Carabao Cup. Is that worth spending $80 million on a striker? Carabao Cup.
I mean, I guess it's dependent on like how happy you want to make Arsenal fans, right?
I would love to. I want to win a trophy, but I'm saying I don't think the board's going to do that.
Whether you don't think they will doesn't mean that they shouldn't, right? Like
I don't think they will, is what I'm saying, because of what I just said.
Okay.
A striker, even if you get the pure striker, someone who said that from this point on scores 15 goals, that's still not going to win you a chip.
I mean, that's debatable. Like the lead is not insurmountable. It's not impossible.
6 points would they have a game in hand, right? I mean, it hasn't changed.
Yeah, against Everton. All right. I mean, Everton's gonna win that game, so at least
Okay, so
obviously,
all right, so
still
6 points otherwise. Yeah.
So it's not really gonna.
We all totally believe David Moyes.
David Moyes is gonna turn things around. You know how it is. This was a.
I don't know. Do you think Mikel Arteta's on a hot seat?
I think he is. I think that's fair. I just don't think
How hot? Now, the old crappy Ford that I drive, right, has a 0 to 5.
Okay.
0 meaning it's not on. 5 meaning, hey, it might be too hot for a seat. They might have discontinued this the next model year.
It might be a 2 at most. That's it. I don't think FA Cup is the most important. Or the thing that is
Arsenal have won it the most out of any other club in
right, and I mean it's been a while since they won it last time, and it's the only trophy that has won. But he won that trophy without his players. You know what I mean? He was it was the previous manager's players, and he
also won it with 3 at the back, which he refuses to do now. But whatever.
This time around, I just think the league is, because they've been so close the last few years. I think that is the main priority, and so I disagree with that point of like I think they should make that big move to try to win that title this season. I think it's not impossible. The injuries to Saka.
I would love for that to be the case. I just don't think the board will do that.
Right. Well, so then it's just, y'all gonna have great warm-up kits and
second place trophy, baby,
and great jackets, and all the merch are gonna be fire.
They gonna get all my money.
So more of that, more of the same. Okay, a couple other things. FA Cup related. Tamworth hosted Tottenham.
We've all heard of them.
Tamworth. How
Player
much
of the match is that 32-year-old that people said was a plumber, but he's not actually a plumber. He's a professional footballer.
Right.
Yeah.
But they always say this about any.
Yeah. But they actually put it on his name, plumber, 32-year-old plumber.
Tamworth plays in what? In League Two, League One.
No, I think they're National League. Yeah.
Oh, they're not even. They're semi-pro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. And so they took so Tamworth, it was 0-0
until extra time.
Until extra time. And then Tottenham ended up winning 3-0 when they brought the big guns because they had to.
They were like, please save us. Yeah.
But there were a lot of funny stories. Did you see the Tottenham players walking into the stadium? All the fans chirping at them.
Yeah. They had like a chant for every one of them.
Yeah.
Something to say about each of them.
Did
you see the Tamworth fans had to sweep and shovel the stadium to get it ready?
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah. The team couldn't afford it, so the fans chipped in.
Yeah, I mean, this is the beauty,
the magic of the cup,
of the cup. But there was one of the midfielders for Tamworth asked Bergvall for his. Well, Bergvall asked for his shirt because he was like, "Yo, you're a really good player. Like, can I switch shirts?" And he said, he was like, "Nah, man, I gotta frame this, but can I have yours?" And Bergvall did give it to him.
Oh, nice.
And he had it, and then like 5 other players signed it. So like Kulusevski, Pedro Porro, Bergvall, obviously,
That's
and a bunch of others. So that was like, so it's interesting because it is such a significant game for Tamworth. For Tottenham, it's like, why do we have to come here, right?
Yeah, but this is why I said we should still have replays. I know that's adding an extra match, but could you imagine how much money Tamworth would make if they got to play a match at Tottenham Stadium?
Yeah. I mean, one of the players did mention that afterwards, but to put in that kind of performance and take it to extra time against a Premier League side, I mean, that's going to be something they get to live with for the rest of their life. That's super cool.
I forget what club it is, but somebody was slated. Had they been able to do a replay, they would have gotten £1 million was what they would have netted. They make 1.6 million a year.
Wow.
So it would have essentially doubled their yearly income.
Damn, bro. Carter, how do you feel about destroying Tamworth financially when they could have had?
Yeah, I just don't understand why you get rid of replays in the FA Cup, but the Carabao Cup semifinals 2 legs.
Right.
Like if you're getting rid of congestion, like fixture congestion,
right,
then it doesn't make sense.
I thought you was about to say something about congestion pricing. I'm like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
It benefits the lack of replay benefits obviously the bigger clubs and the more financially stable clubs.
You have one less match. Play the kids, bro. Let these guys make some money.
Was it embarrassing that it did go to extra time, given that you're a Tottenham fan, Carter?
What's more embarrassing, that or just being a Tottenham fan?
Not answering that. I wasn't embarrassed by the fact that it was Tamworth. I was embarrassed by players like Timo Werner, who just looked lost playing against a National League team.
Right.
But I'm really, you just leave that game and you're like, thank God we won, or that would have been horrific.
Bro, Timo Werner is
his coach hates him, bro. That's it.
Yeah, but he been making money with nothing going on, bro.
Another result that was pretty wild. Manchester City played against Salford City, and they smacked them 8-0.
Damn.
Kind of
Salford owned by the class of 92, basically.
The class of 92.
The Man United. Was
okay.
like Gary Neville, Phil Neville, if I'm not mistaken, Paul Scholes.
The
dude whose last name is Butt. Nicky Butt, bro.
Okay.
Somebody else. Yeah, Salford City is, and Beckham. Ryan Giggs. Oh, yeah, we can't bring him up anymore. Litigation pending.
Salford City are in, where do they play? They've been League Two. And 8-0 is even though it's Manchester City, 8-0 is...
Nah, that's painful.
That's not.
Yeah, Beckham does own it. He purchased the 10% share.
Where's so apparently Pep Guardiola lives in Salford.
Oh.
and they were pointing out he
walked to the match.
I don't know what he did, but he has lived in Salford for 8 years, and they score 8 goals for 1 goal for every year that he's lived in Salford. So it's kind of
very nice,
kind of poetic.
Thank God he lived there for a decade. That would have been
rough. So yeah, a ridiculous result. At least Manchester City, they could use all the positive results that they need. Okay. So and then let's wrap up this segment with a couple some Everton related news. Obviously, we'll get to David Moyes in a second, but before, Everton played in the FA Cup match against Peterborough.
Well, you know, the beauty of this match was that Ashley Young potentially could play against his son.
And this was when
has that ever happened before?
This is it. Has happened before?
I don't think it has happened before, where a father gets to play against their son.
Right. So we've had father and we saw with Bronny and LeBron.
Yeah, I don't know. Recently,
play on the same team, but this would have been an opportunity for Ashley Young to play against his son. And when the FA Cup draw happened, he was he was buzzing. He was like, he was tweeting, talking about
what a proud moment.
What an unbelievable opportunity. And then game day. Neither of them are starting,
which is fine because they each get 5 subs.
Exactly. In like the 70th minute or so, Ashley Young gets on the pitch. Everton are up 1-0. It is a fairly close game,
right?
It's
embarrassing for Everton,
of course. But that's
part of the course.
Doesn't matter who they play.
Yeah,
this is that's usually how my post match recap includes those words most of the time. But. So the game didn't get to 2-0 until there was a late penalty in like the 98th, 5th minute, late in the game. But Tyler Young is an unused substitute in this game.
This coach, what's his name again?
Dave. Darren or I forgot his name.
We could just guess.
Carter. Yeah, just confirm.
Thank you. Why not take this opportunity to have a beautiful moment? You're losing the game. You got a minute left. Bring the kid on.
Right.
Let him do a little run around with his dad. You make history. People remember you forever.
What's his name, Carter?
Darren Ferguson.
And you all sound like a hater, bro.
Darren Ferguson. He after the game when he didn't field Tyler Young, who's a midfielder, by the way.
Yeah.
His reasoning was we needed a goal. I needed to put in a forward, and he said this is it's football. This is not a charity case, and to that
he's getting cooked.
He is getting cooked deservedly, there are people that are on both sides of this argument. They're like, hey, it isn't a charity case. He's trying to win a game. He doesn't have to do any favors for anybody. But I say to this, respectfully, sir, go fuck off. This is unbelievable. This is like it's like if you're watching like a movie, or if you get to like make any movie that you want to make, or you can change the ending of any, or like whatever, but you pick the worst version of the ending. You know how they have alternate endings in movies, and they're like, hey, I see why they didn't go with that one, because that didn't really like close the storyline perfectly. And it's like, this is what he just ruined a what could have been a spectacular movie.
Also, you want to bring in someone who's inspired to play well. How about Tyler Young? Who's playing in front of his dad, may want to score a screamer in front of his pops.
That would have been cool.
You did good, pops.
Imagine he does a couple stepovers and
just
his dad falls to the ground.
ACL rips in half.
Like, that's why I say, it's the new generation, Dad.
You need to sit down in the burger lounge.
Go make me breakfast.
Damn, son. Go get your reading glasses on, bro.
That could have been incredibly entertaining. And so I understand. It's 1-0. You're trying to win a game or whatever.
Have him in the squad if you don't see the value of him coming in at any point.
Exactly.
With 5 subs.
And it's just like, and then also nobody would have been mad at you.
Nobody.
If you put him in the game. Nobody. Everybody would be like, oh yeah, maybe there might be some people like, oh, he just he's trying to do this story. Right. That was such a minimal number of people versus what you're getting now. Versus what you're getting now, which is majority of people being like, dude, you are a ridiculous person.
You ruined a special moment in Premier League history or in English football history.
Yeah. Just
you're dumb.
And then, you know,
and you didn't even win. If you make the subs and those guys go on to score 1 or 2, I get it.
Also, it's a little bit of like, yo, you don't respect Ashley Young a little bit. He's played United. He's played it.
He's been around for
the English national team. Like, even as a like, yo, do me a solid.
Yeah.
They can't even, not even that.
Ashley Young just put gutted.
Gutted. That's what he tweeted. Unbelievable. Yeah, I feel for Ashley Young, man.
Yeah, it sucks.
If I had an opportunity to play with Mateo,
That's why both of y'all got to sign with the Lakers. I'm just saying.
Okay.
They'll do this. Lonnie got no
Lakers
need to be
would
in the
support
NBA.
this. And then also, David Moyes did join, returns to Everton. He gave his first press conference. He said all the right things.
Mm-hmm. Are you excited?
I couldn't even be a little bit excited. There's no excitement at all. There's just a little bit of like, okay, maybe the bleeding is going to stop because of
over.
It was, I mean, defensively, he did what he got to do. He had a couple poor results. The Manchester United 4-0 was bad, but for the most part, they held their own in most games. Just couldn't score any goals whatsoever. I think that the injury to Dwight McNeil, he's been out for a couple of weeks with a knee injury. There's just no offense whatsoever. So something had to be done, and hopefully David Moyes can fix a couple of these problems. We're not asking for much, just a couple goals and keep us up. That's it.
I'm just glad Everton giving a chance to a young upstart.
Yep. Okay. So all right, let's take a quick break. We got some MLS news to cover and some NWSL news to discuss. So we'll be right back after this.
Introducing Daily Draw, the latest free-to-play game from Yahoo Sports. Daily Draw gives you a pack of 6 prediction cards every day based on the day's biggest sporting event. Download or update the Yahoo Sports app on the Apple App Store or Google Play and join the action with Daily Draw today.
All right, let's chat some Major League Soccer. It is the preseason. Well, preseason's about to begin as far as our actual matches, but the players are not reporting, pitchers and catchers. They got to get there.
Some of them are.
Some of them are, some of them are not. The Argentinian one seems to be a little bit problematic.
Yeah, man, they be taking their time, bro.
Because Lucho Acosta is one of the players who has not reported to FC Cincinnati. And he is supposed to be there. Tom Boger had reported that since he did not give Lucho Acosta permission to report late, but Acosta said in November he wanted to leave the club and return to Argentina. This is interesting because their season ended in penalties against New York City FC. Which obviously, they did that. That's not how they wanted it to end, but it wasn't a bad season by any means. FC Cincinnati were really, really good this season. I wonder what the issue is with Lucho and why he might not want to come back.
I think the general consensus is, and again, I don't know this, but it's like he felt like he had done his time in MLS and wanted to change of pace, wanted to be closer to family, wanted to go back to Argentina, which, you were on the cusp of, MVP this last season, even with Messi in the league. You're one of the best players in the league. It's tough for me to kind of wrap my arms around that. It's like, man, you're one of the best here. You really want to leave? And potentially, this feels like he's going to go elsewhere and come back in 2 years.
Well, he did that already, right? He went to Liga Mexico. He went to Xolos or Atlas? Xolos.
No, I think he went, yeah.
Xolos, right?
Yeah, and then he came back.
And
also, he just got his U.S. citizenship, bro.
He should be playing for the U.S. men's national team.
He should be in the January camp for sure.
I mean, why not? Let's just have a little fun with it.
Yeah, what's the difference? He's got the ability to play for the U.S. team.
We got an Argentinian coach.
Yeah,
make the one-time switch. This is long term, if he doesn't end up coming back, I don't know if this is like a thing with is it easier to disrespect an MLS club versus any other club? I mean, this happens. It happens across the world, but I feel like it's like...
Yeah, because of the fans. Like MLS fans aren't going to be like, you're not allowed to come back here. They'll be like, thanks for coming back here. You know what I mean?
Oh, because they won't be as upset.
Yeah, I don't think American fans are as toxic.
All right. Okay, so...
You might get booed a little bit or whatever. They're not going to wait for you at the airport. You know what I mean?
Because you're not doing this. If you play for Boca or River, you're not
which
not
is where he's
showing-
rumored to go.
Right. Yeah. This is a it's I don't know. It's frustrating because as a fan of Major League Soccer and for players to just be this sort of like willy-nilly about returning, especially very high profile players. Like it's interesting. You know what it is, because I think obviously we support NYCFC, so the way NYCFC clubs and the way they handle their players, the way David Lee and coaching staff, like if players want to go, they kind of do everything they in their power to like facilitate a move rather than go into a big spat. And
I mean, there's two different types of coaches. One who like, I want only loyalty, and if you don't want to be here, then please go because you won't be a part of the team.
Yeah.
And there's other ones that are like, you're too important to my club.
Yeah.
I think you and I would probably lean the first way, which is like, yo, if you for 1 second don't want to be here, get out of here.
Yeah, but only and it's fine if players should have that kind of autonomy and some say in their own careers, but the drama that comes with it can affect the locker room. It can affect the rest of the team. So that's why NYCFC, even though a lot of times players are like, why they let James Sands go the first time? Why they Chanot? He just leaves in the middle. Like it's like frustrating, but it's almost more frustrating to keep a player around that doesn't really want to be there.
Don't want to be there. Yeah.
So I can understand if they let Lucho go, but this is just like an annoying thing where they clearly don't want him to go, and he does, and blah blah blah. And then the other player,
Driussi, bro,
Austin FC.
Wants to go to River.
Another tiny Argentinian. The tiny Argentinian, they don't want to show up to work.
You just can't trust them. You got to get the tall
Is that what
Argentinian.
it is? I sound like Elon Musk. These tiny Argentinians just don't want to work anymore.
Yeah. When it comes to Driussi, he basically said like, hey man, sell me to River. And Austin FC's like, we're not selling you unless we get a good offer. And he's like, all right, well, I'm already here. So, I guess you decide if that's a good enough offer or not.
Tom Boger also reported that Sebastian Driussi no-shows a mandatory medical to kick off the Austin FC preseason as he tries to force a move to River Plate. And the other team that is coming up as a possible destination is Estudiantes in Argentina. But again, this is not good for FC Cincinnati. It's not good for Austin FC. But this is these situations to me could be sorted way sooner than this. Why does it get to this point?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, he just doesn't show up for a medical, and he's supposed to be there. And again, I was watching. There was an interview that I think was it David Ornstein from The Athletic did with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and I was sort of here. I don't know.
This is about like his time at Arsenal and stuff. Yeah.
And he gave
a lot of quotes. Been
but he gave some details about like the reason everything kind of fell apart, and his home being robbed, and his family being basically held up, and like how traumatic and how difficult that was, and how that affected him as a player. And then he sort of felt backstabbed by Mikel Arteta,
right.
And again, I don't know if anything to that degree happened with either of these guys or anything along those lines, but there could be some reasonable side to their story. But again, as a front office, you should be ahead of these things because I think MLS is not in a place where they could just be like, oh, Lucho, go. Who cares if he stays or goes? Or same thing with Driussi with that first season at Austin was unbelievable.
right.
So disappointing for both of these players, and hopefully it gets sorted out. My main, as a fan, and even as a fan of another team, I still want them in the league, and I want to see them play. The other another move in NWSL that we need to talk about is
Jaedyn Shaw's getting traded in North Carolina. Huh?
Yeah, dude, this is a wild one, and I think you sort of ask. I mean, it's a big move for her, but then she's going to North Carolina from San Diego Wave, and then as soon as I saw this, my first thought was like, she doesn't want to play at the Wave, like something's going on. Obviously, with their coach, they fired their coach Casey Stoney, and now the new coach is the former Arsenal women's coach, and And now with after the new CBA, NWSL players get to approve their trade, so they're not there. So
a bit more autonomy.
Yeah, and so it wasn't like oh, I woke up one day and now I'm on a new team.
She knew.
She was like, oh yeah, this is no team. Okay, yeah, please move me.
Yeah, which I guess if you're San Diego Wave, you want to be like, what? You want the biggest players to play in a new team that you should be going out for trophies.
Right,
says a lot.
I think the highest selling kit was Alex Morgan's Wave Kit or something like that.
Makes sense.
And I think Gurma or something. There were like two Wave players, or 2 or 3 Wave players that had the top 10 selling NWSL kits last season. So as far as like popularity of a team, they are like
they got that.
They're one of the top teams. But we're still hearing stuff about the lawsuit and everything. And shout out to Leslie Ryder from Gal Pal Sports, who's really been on top of this story and really reporting it thoroughly, because that's where I'm getting a lot of my information on, because now they just added 2 more co-defendants to it too. So I think it's a total of 5 or 6 now, something like that. So
that's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
where more people are coming out and saying stuff. But I think it brings up a few questions where I think a lot of fans are like, Naomi Gurma, please get out of that toxic environment, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is just like, why is this so common? There was also, I forgot her name. There was another player that played for the Utah Royals that just put out a statement about how playing for that team damaged her mental health, that she had to get out of that environment like as soon as possible, because it was like her dream to play professionally, and it was just hurting. It was just hurting her being there. And it's just like, my concern is like, why is this so commonplace? And I don't know if it's something where it's commonplace only in women's soccer, or women's soccer players are more vocal, and actually say something about it.
It very well could be. It seems to me like it's a thing where the women's players are not just being vocal, but are asking specifically for change. Yeah, and I think in the men's side, you put up with a bit more toxicity because they're like, "Oh, you got to be tough," and it's stupid. As stupid as that is,
and it's hard to say. I don't know that there are better like collective bargaining agreements that are put in place, that have been put in place for years and years and years. MLS has been around a long time, and a lot of leagues have been around a long time. So there's the unions are a little bit stronger to be able to combat any abusive behavior from from the employers and owners and stuff like that. So it could be
they just got free agency. They're really putting in the work, though.
It could be that NWSL might just be, because the league is essentially in its infancy. Right. It could just be that it doesn't have a lot of those protections in place, and the culture of the league is like kind of changing every like 2-3 years. That they just haven't gotten to a place where a lot of this stuff is like, nah, we don't tolerate that. We don't do that.
Yeah, it could be.
So, but again,
they got a lot of competition from Europe. So you need to get this straight.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's just an important thing, important foundation to have players want to stay and want to play there and make their money and support the league and grow the business that is NWSL. This kind of stuff, we can't have these kind of stories. And again, we won't know until this case is like all finalized with San Diego, but it's just not when essentially one of your best players is like, yeah, let me go. That doesn't sign. Yeah, that tells me she doesn't really believe in the project, and as
she don't trust it.
She don't trust it. Yeah. So, and she's probably gonna thrive and do very, very well at North Carolina.
Big name.
All right. We got some Rápido Reactions to do right after this, so come right back.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Now it's time for one of my favorite segments, Rápido Reactions, and we're talking transfers, huh?
We are indeed.
All right.
I love the timing.
Yeah, the pregnant pause there.
So who do we got first?
If you're unfamiliar, Carter's going to throw stuff at us, and we have 90 seconds. You hear a little bell when we're done.
So these are not transfers that are all done, but either getting close to done or are rumored.
It's like open secret rumor type stuff.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
So the first one is a double move to Man City. Omar Marmoush and Kusanov, a center back from I believe
Uzbekistan.
Lens?
I think
Yeah.
he's a left back, if I'm not mistaken. I just looked it up. But
He's Uzbeki. We're not on top of that.
Your thoughts on this double move for Man City?
Man City needs all the help they can get right now. They could definitely use, given injuries, they could use some support.
Yeah, but
in a
Omar
lot of
Mamouche
positions.
is replacing Julian Alvarez. It's like, oh, you didn't think you needed this guy?
It's a maybe they thought Erling Haaland would be enough, and they
Yeah.
didn't think they didn't need that much support.
Well,
But
Erling Haaland, I think, has scored something like 60% of all their goals. So you got to spread it around. a
yes,
little
and
bit.
Marmouche, I just watched him play against FC St. Pauli because I wanted to see James Sands
make his debut.
debut.
His debut.
And Marmouche scored in that game. So
Yeah. Omar Mamouche is incredible. What's Omar Mamouche? 22, 23?
let's confirm.
He's got a
He is
25.
25.
He's got a big future ahead of him.
But no, great player, and would do. Anytime a Bundesliga club sells to the Premier League, there's a little bit of rubbing their hands together. Like, hey, I know, you know what, you could.
It's revenue sharing is what I'm looking at it as.
So no, I think he's gonna do great, and this will be.
Shouts to Uzbeki center backs or left backs, bro.
I don't.
Get
Okay.
a couple Uzbeks in there. I used to get my haircut by an Uzbeki guy.
You know what?
So maybe this is his
I
cousin.
don't have
bro.
enough Uzbeki friends, bro.
Nah?
I need to up. Any Uzbeki people listening or
Yo,
watching?
We need a Uzbeki with the good hair up in here.
Make yourself known.
Yeah,
all right,
bro.
we need to befriend you.
Yo,
all right?
fuck the chat with Uzbeki flags, bro.
Who's up next?
All right, Kyle Walker to AC Milan.
Damn.
This is
Both families? Which one's he bringing? I think this is a good move for Manchester City because once a player wants to leave, you got to let him go.
but no, it's Kyle Walker though,
Bro,
dog.
he's slower now, bro. He ain't the same Kyle Walker.
He's not Kyle running anymore.
Damn, Kyle needs a walker, yo. You that old, bro? That's because you trying to
Nah,
swing dang to both.
I mean,
the
look,
two
he
chicks,
hasn't
bro.
been flawless this season, but I think
But when you want to leave, your Pep is like, I can't even put you in my team sheet, bro.
But you heard him talking about Kyle Walker. He sounded pretty sad. He wasn't like happy.
I'm sure it's that. But then
to-
wasn't the rumor that Kyle Walker wanted to leave last summer, but he begged him to stay?
Yes, and
I don't know about all that.
But and Kyle Walker is, we've seen it in Champions League and a couple Premier League matches. He's been a little bit lost. He's not marking people the way he used to be. Defenders getting by him.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with pace. It's defenders like sort of. He's like his mentality, his focus has not really been there.
Yeah. But here's the real question: is he going to be a bad influence on Christian Pulisic?
And that's why we have to wonder about that,
Okay.
because I don't know. You're gonna be bringing your side pieces around. Maybe he's gonna
Right.
think that this is okay. This kind of behavior is okay.
But Pulisic got good ideas, right? He said, "Yo, you could put your side piece in the building next door to your current girl and just build a wall." He's really excited about that. part.
And they won't be able to. You won't be able to go by.
You won't be able to see each other, or maybe sneak over quickly.
So we'll see where Kyle Walker ends up. But no, go for it. What's next?
All right, Kavica Kvaratskhelia to PSG.
Kavica.
That's a plus for you for the pronunciation, bro.
Kavaradona.
Because you could have just said Kavara. Bro, this man is 23 years old, looks every bit of 55 years old.
Without a doubt.
What's going on in Georgia? What's going on? Yo, drop the skincare routine. Anybody but Pep. My guy needs it. Kvaratskhelia is a left winger.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, have you seen PSG's front line? They got this kid named Bradley Barcola, who's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you go there if you're Kvara? Now, here's the other thing I just found out about Kvara. He's one of the lowest paid players on Napoli.
Yeah, this was been the
His
thing.
contract goes to 2028, and he makes $55,000, not euros, dollars a week.
While some of his teammates are making way more than that.
Bro, Osimhen was making bucket loads more, bro. Like, if you're Kvaratskhelia, you got to think to yourself, like, damn, bro, I just need to go get some of that guap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is the season, the Scudetto winning season was. This guy was one of the best players in the world.
21-22, big future ahead of him.
Then he gets he's been injured and he hasn't played many matches this season. But that season alone is just like, I should be getting paid a little bit. You know,
Remember
a
his
number that
agent
is respectful to me.
Remember his agent was beefing with Osimhen's agent like 2 years ago? They were putting out nasty comments or whatever. We're trying to get this guy paid, but he signed a long-term contract. He's until 2028.
Right. So I can't blame him for maybe wanting to move, going to PSG. It's like you go to PSG to lose Champions League and make money.
I know we rang the bell, but apparently the personal terms have been agreed to with PSG. You know, PSG's like, we'll pay you 100. He's like, I'll take it.
You know,
and we get to finish.
All right, who's next?
Agreed. Personal terms agreed.
Daniel Malin to Aston Villa.
Bro, although I think as a wingback or a left back, no, not as a striker.
Because he plays as a winger, right?
Yeah.
Mostly for Dortmund.
But aren't they going to sell like an Ollie Watkins or John Duran, one of the two? Probably John Duran.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Malin can kind of be backup, I'm assuming.
I sort of think of Daniel Malin as like an upgrade to like Leon Bailey, because Leon Bailey's not really playing much.
But they got him for I think like 20 or 25. Some cheapy number, bro.
Right.
Makes you wonder, where the hell's Arsenal and all this?
But even for Dortmund, they're having a miserable season. It's just, again, another underwhelming. I mean, they'll probably end up in Champions League, but who knows? And I think
season.
That's their main concern, just to get to Champions League. But it's been a real bummer watching them this year. I don't know what it is this season. So anyway, but Daniel Malin going to Aston Villa, a great move. They could use some help.
Aston Villa also knows how to find these gems, man. I really, really, really trust.
And they need that injection of just a little, after they started the season well and went on a bit of a rut, and they Aston Villa seemed like a lock for Champions League earlier this season, and now I think they're just trying to get back to that. So
it's a good move. Good move.
I like Daniel Malin. I think he's a great player, and you would imagine that Dortmund is a little bit, I don't know, limiting, or I don't know what
crazy. We're like 5 years away. 5 years ago that Aston Villa was relegated, and now here they are.
Yeah, sure.
It's crazy.
All right. What else we got?
Here's your last one, an MLS one. Alan Velasco goes to Boca Juniors for $10 million.
This is
a lot of money to pay for Alan Velasco.
When I saw Tommy Scoops report this, and I said, who?
This man's talking
for how much?
My guy's talking rupees, or is he talking dollars?
What currency are we talking about? Litecoin?
Yeah.
This was,
you gonna pay 1/10 of a Bitcoin for my guy?
Alan Velasco was a solid DP, solid FC Dallas player. Maybe if they come to you with like a $3 million, you're like, I don't know, he's a pretty good. For 10, you get rid of this man in a heartbeat.
Bro, we're giving you the private jet to take. We're getting you there tonight.
Whatever amenities you need. Boca, where are you getting this money?
Bro, I thought the economy in Argentina was garbage, bro. Where you getting 10 million?
This is one of the wildest.
I would have never guessed. I would have never seen this coming. I don't understand. I know he played for Independiente.
Okay.
Club Atlético Independiente, if I'm not mistaken, in Argentina before. I think that's where he started his career. So I get that there's a little bit of the I'm coming home, but Alan Velasco, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Tom had reported, said that Dallas planned around Velasco for 2025, but the deal was too good for player and club.
And a 15% sell-on?
This is unbelievable business.
Bro, this is money
I'm a little
laundering.
bit concerned for
this
FC.
Money laundering is what this is, bro.
I'm a little concerned for FC Dallas because they get rid of Paul Arriola, they get rid of Jesus Ferreira and Alan Velasco.
Yeah.
And it's like,
who's scoring them goals?
So it's going to be a bit interesting for them. But yeah, you take this deal every day of the week.
Damn.
10 million. All right.
I think I go for 2 million on the open market right now, bro.
With all due respect, Alan Velasco, decent player, decent guy. But yeah, I mean,
10 plus 2 million add-ons?
But no.
What's the add-ons if he blinks? You get another million.
All right, another Rápido Reaction in the books. Thank you, everybody. for tuning in. Another reminder, just we have a new episode of No Cap Recap on our Patreon, where you can hear all the behind the scenes stuff from MLS Media Day. We talk about a bunch of other things that we can't talk about on the regular pod. So
we say some wild stuff in there.
It gets a little crazy. So
it got a little sticky for Elon. Let's just say it that way, bro.
A little crazy.
It got a little brazy over there.
Patreon.com/Soccer Cooligans is a brand new episode, No Cap Recap. So go tune in. Make sure you subscribe to the Cooligans, the podcast, YouTube, whatever you got to do to show support for your favorite soccer podcasters. And as always, a lot of love goes out to everybody in LA. I know there's several. There's friends of mine that I know that have been in really bad situations, lost their homes. Friends have been very, very close, and luckily their homes were okay. There are several players. One from Angel City, Ali Riley. She had posted.
She showed a photo of where her house was in the middle of a desert, basically. At this point.
And so she lost her family home there as well, and it's just horrifying. And there's a lot of the American Red Cross is I know accepting donations, and obviously people need a lot of support. Whenever we get more and more, I know Angel City FC. If you go follow them on all socials, they're selling shirts where all the proceeds are going to help rebuild to all the people who lost homes in the fire. So go and look especially those LA teams that are running fundraisers, are doing things to help support. So go, when we get those things, I know we shared one from Happy Foot, Sad Foot, the guys from that run the LAFC podcast. They were doing a GoFundMe. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to help support. So please go do that if that's something that you're able to do. So I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, peace and love to all of our friends out there, and safety, please.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'll be there this weekend for a wedding, so I'll let you know from the ground.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Alexis is going to be speaking to inmates that are fighting fires like Sam
They might
Piker.
throw me on the front lines. You know what I mean?
All the love to everybody out there. All right, let's wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back with another episode on Thursday, and you will get to decide what interview we air from MLS Media Day. So go to our YouTube and make sure to vote for the next interview. So it's like a little choose your own adventure, but with the Cooligans. So it's kind of nice. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday, everybody. Peace.